what is happening here? Okay, what happens if you hit start again on not there, here? Okay, oh no, we're still, okay, now try again. No. Do we need, oh, there we are, okay.
All right.
I'm going to redo the intro, but first I need somebody to say, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. It seems there was it wasn't OBS. It was a glitch with the USB connection. I had to disconnect the audio mixer and plug it back into the USB.
As Silent Wing pointed out earlier in the live chat, this is why we get here early.
Right. Exactly.
So we're going to do our intro again.
Okay.
Because I don't know what will happen in the finished product when the video is available on demand. It might come through clear. It might not. Who knows? So we're just going to start from the top, y'all. Hello.
Hello.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Loving BDSM, where we help Kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly live stream while we record our podcast, the audio version of which hits all major podcast apps every Friday. And Spotify has been fixed. So yes, Spotify is now one of them. And if you usually listen to Spotify, you can now. We fixed it. Okay. We have been here for a while. We're here officially 5 minutes early. For people coming back later, there will be timestamps eventually. I'll figure that out. We got 5 minutes. You got time if you don't like chit chat. And OM freaking G. Hello. This is why we come here early.
Yeah.
This is why.
Mm-hmm,
This is why. I'm going to say hello to people. Y'all been here for a hot minute, so give me a minute. I gotta scroll.
The thing is, you know, the original introduction
was good.
It was good.
We did a good job.
And nobody could hear it.
I know. That's usually how it goes. The last time we had an audio issue, it was a really good intro then too, and nobody could hear it. Once YouTube does its magic with processing the video, there might be 2 intros. I don't know. Okay, I'm saying hi to folks. Hi, Blown Deuce. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Silent Wing. Hi, Little Miss. Hi, Eva. Hi, Giga. Hi, Missy. Hi, Computer King. Hi. Did I ever say hi, Eva? I did. Hi, Eva. You get 2. I just like you that much. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, JB. Hi, Puppy. Scrolling. Hi, Rara. Scrolling. Hi, Tayshu. Scrolling. Hi, JB. John Brownstone. That was actually me playing the part of John Brownstone in the live chat comments.
While I'm working on the technical issues, she snatched my iPad and started typing.
Did I say hi to you, Computer King? If not, hello. Hi, Alexia. Scrolling. Ah, it jumped. Scrolling. I'm trying to scroll again. It jumped. Hi, Lady Blooding. Hi, Sassy Girl. Hi, hello.
Hi, everyone. Happy to have you here.
We're here.
Hi,
Chronically Kinky. I will not remember that later, but I will try. So if I call you what I see on the screen, just know I'm trying my best. I am having to come to terms with the fact that even though it feels like a failing on my part, I will always be shit with names. I will just always be shit with names. Hi, Sharon. So we got 3 extra minutes. Do you have anything for the butt rub? That's not going to be included in this week's episode. Oh my God. Hi, Susan.
I'm just happy to be here and everything is working now.
I know we are wearing new shirts.
Yeah.
And the shop, not the individual shirts, but the shop is linked in the description box. This is from What's the Safe Words merch shop. Mine says got consent. Yours says pansexual. The 17-year-old took a look at my shirt and went, I would like one of those. And we're arranging that for him. So... yeah, the me meditating look, that's where the screen froze. This was me going, what? It's broken? Of course it's broken. Thanks for everybody who has complimented the hair. It is starting to fade out, but I'm glad you can't quite tell that on camera. Also, yes, I did actually try with the eye look today.
You did.
And I saw gold shimmer and went, yes, I want to do that. And so I did. Thank you, little miss. So, yeah. And then I went, well, I have to do a neutral lip, so... But I don't have a good nude lipstick. I need to look for that. But I know you don't, one, care, or two, know what
Can't help you with that. Yeah, no, you wouldn't wouldn't want me to.
No, probably not. Well, I need to get some little things from Elf, and so apparently I will also have to peruse the lipstick situation when I do. Oh, Davey, God, COVID for the 5th time. I am so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Glad we can cheer you up though, for sure. What else is going on? A lot of the stuff that's going on we will talk about in the episode because it's kind of a giant bonus section, but it is really about our DS relationship, so that'll be interesting. Lola is on the love seat, which is in a new position because we're moving stuff around in the office. Pillows that we consider hers, but are usually on the floor, are up on the love seat. She is laying on her purple blanket with her head propped against 2 pillows, like the queen that she is. And her eyes are open, but she's also snoring. I think she can sleep with her eyes open. I really do think that. She's living her best Lola life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she is. Yeah. I took a picture. I'll post it on Discord later.
Our Discord is for Patreon only, patrons only, mostly just so it's easy to manage and handle. And so apologies for those who will ask, what Discord? And then they'll find out it's Patreon and they're like, oh, never mind. Sorry, y'all. So hi, 343 Badgerton. I have got to get new glasses. This is a thing I will complain about later, but I think I'm having to come to terms rapidly with the fact that I'm about to need bifocals, and I'm so pissed off about it.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off about it. So it is.
Right, hang on.
Sure.
Keep it going for just another minute.
Okay. Oh, you're making sure everything
is working there too.
Audacity too. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like it didn't drop there.
It's not just noon, it's noon 01.
Okay.
So we should get this show started.
On the road.
Hi. The topic today is the state. We're doing a check-in with each other on our DS relationship. In my mind, I'm thinking of it as a State of the Union on our power exchange, except we're going to be actually in conversation about it. We're not going to be stating anything. But that's the topic. If you enjoy this and we have not already scared you off, annoyed you, or just made you go, oh, not these people, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, hint, it is always like this. No, not hint, spoiler, you knew what I meant. Please consider subscribing. When you subscribe,
ring the notification bell so you get updates to new content.
I feel like I should get extra bonus points as a submissive, that I remind him, urge him, encourage him, and nudge him to do that when I don't give a rat's flying fucking ass about the notification bell. But I don't get bonus points because there's no scorekeeping, because what would I even get points for? I don't know. But if we did a point thing, as long as it didn't stress me out, I would probably be down for that, is all I'm saying. Anyway.
At any rate. Good girl.
Thank you.
Well, I'm trying to scan, make sure everything's doing what it's doing after
I know, right?
Kerfuffle.
As we mentioned earlier, these shirts, the shop where we got the shirts, the link to that shop is in the description box. It's from What's the Safe Words merch shop. We have another duo of shirts that we will be debuting next week.
Mm-hmm.
I love them both so fucking much. So we'll get there next week. Okay, so I think you can hit the button and we can get into stuff. We're hitting the button?
Yeah.
Oh no! Do we want to hit another button?
Cross your fingers.
Okay, we're hitting buttons and we're here. Okay, I think we're all here.
Okay.
We think we're all here. What is even happening today? Podcast listeners, what you have not seen that YouTube live stream watchers have is a lot of issues, and I don't know what's happening anymore. Okay, so before we get into today's topic, some announcements. The first one, really quick, I've already said it, but I'm going to say it again. The Spotify podcast feed is fixed. So for 100 years, the last episode was our episode on Joy from July. And then I finally clicked the right set of buttons in the right order, and I got the feed update, and all of the current episodes are now there all at once. So if you had bypassed Spotify for a while because it hadn't been working, you can go back to Spotify now because it should be working. The next announcement is this Friday, August 19th. That is the day this episode goes live for podcast listeners. It is our monthly live stream in the evening, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It's a live stream where we hang out and chit chat. We kind of consider it a virtual munch. We also will do a Q&A starting at about 10 p.m. Eastern. Usually we last until about midnight. Last month I think we went a little bit longer. I don't quite remember. I think I could have kept going. I'm not quite sure. But somebody has me doing yard work this weekend, so I don't think we'll go much past midnight this week. But if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, hopefully when I schedule the live and then when we go live, you'll be notified. If you're a podcast listener, the link to the live stream, if you are interested in joining us, will be in the show notes on Friday. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, I'll put the link there as well. And that goes out on Friday. So there. Now, third announcement, biggest announcement, OMG, very, 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 very excited. Is that we did this last year, we're doing this again. We have teamed up with a bunch of other kink educators to offer for 1 week only what's called the Kink Bundle. There's 16 of us in total. We have all opted in one of our products. The value of the bundle is over $1,000 of kinky education. You get it for one low price of $99 from now, the day of recording, which is Wednesday, August 17th, through, I don't know what day of the week it is, but August 23rd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. So not our time zone. So we have put in 30 Days of DS Volume 2. That's our newest product this year. You don't have to have done 30 days, the first one, to get anything out of the Volume 2. If you've already purchased that from us, there's so much else in there that totally makes it worth it. Evie Lupine has a course on anal training. There's a class on switching 101. There's a class on, I think it's a class, some of these may be workbooks as well, caregiver little dynamics. There was one that caught my eye, BDSM and ADHD. If you are either newly diagnosed with ADHD or have known you've been diagnosed and new to BDSM, that's one to check out. There is so much there. There's one on non-monogamy that focuses on dealing with jealousy. Oh my God. So you have 1 week to buy the bundle. All of that, 16 things, one low price between August 17th and August 23rd. That's when you can buy it. From the time you buy it, you have about 3 months, maybe just over 3 months, to access it, meaning go log in and get it, download it, make a login, whatever. But once you've done that, you can go back and take those courses at your own leisure, read the books, do the workbook, whatever the product may be, whatever the educational offering may be. So if you are a newsletter subscriber to the Loving BDSM newsletter, I apologize now. You're going to get multiple emails about this because it's only here for a week and I don't want folks to forget. Sorry. Will you hear about it again on Friday at the live stream hangout virtual munch BDSM Q&A? Yes, the fuck you will. So if you follow us on social, are you going to hear about it?
We're done.
Yes, you will. I was excited about it last year when we did it. It was our first time doing it. This year, I'm looking at the courses, and there are easily several that I'm like, I would like to take that.
I know.
I want to go. And we, as being participants, we get to do that. But I'm like, these are some damn good classes and some good names of people. Like, throw us out. Yeah. Submissive Guide, who we love. Corey Bush, I think I'm remembering. There. Evie, there. Like, good folks, y'all, that you want to learn from. Oh my gosh. Go check it out. Link is in the places. Podcast listeners, it's in the show notes page. YouTube folks, it's in the description box. It's the very first link because I'm real serious about it. Again, if you are a newsletter subscriber, you're going to get I'm not sending an email every single day of the fucking week, y'all, because I can't stand that. I'm not doing it to anybody else. But there will be multiple emails, and every email you get we'll have a link.
I've got one in several accounts this morning.
I know, me too. Look, did we accidentally artificially inflate our own subscriber numbers because we signed up to make sure everything worked? Yes, we did. And it'll be in Friday's newsletter. So, I'm just saying, if you follow us on social media, it's there too. It's there. If you're not sure, just go take a look. Like, that's no commitment. Just go look at it and see what's there, and have your mind freaking blown by all of the education there. OMG. I'm so excited. So, the Kink Bundle 2022 from today, the day we're recording, August 17th through August 23rd, which I think is a Tuesday, but don't quote me on that. That's it. That's the only chance to buy it. So if you're interested, start clicking links, start looking at it, do your thing, get your kink education on. OMG. So, there we go. Now we can get into the actual episode, which is a little bit a bearing of our souls.
Yeah.
In front of a camera and into a microphone. Why are we doing this? I'm going to be totally honest. One, it needs to be done. It's been a hot minute.
Right.
Two, and what's been happening, as we've been talking about in different bonus sections, is issues have been cropping up, and it's a little bit of putting out the fires.
Right.
We've been dealing with issues instead of doing a whole state of our relationship. But also, I'm going to be honest, I need to sit down and make our topic schedule for the next several weeks, and I have not done that yet. And the one I was real excited to do, we've already talked about that and had nothing new to say about it. So I was like, oh. And I went, hey, wait, we should probably stop doing random extra bonus sections of actual kink content and just do this thing we need to do.
Right.
And call it an episode.
And it kind of falls into another thing that I realized this morning. This is our podcast anniversary.
And normally we do that up big, but y'all, if I had to plan a big old giveaway right at this moment, my head might explode.
Yeah.
So, we are talking about the state of our DS relationship. We're doing a check-in. We recommend check-ins for power exchange relationships. Those can look like anything you want them to look like. Typically, that is Lola in the background snoring she's got 2 jobs and several children. I know life must be rough, Lola. So we don't typically do formal check-ins.
Correct.
We are consistently communicating, so as things come up, they're just dealt with.
Right.
But what has happened lately is we've ignored the state of our power exchange. So all we're doing now is putting out fires in our power exchange.
Right.
And if you find yourself in that similar situation, maybe set a time for a formal conversation to go, let's kind of run through our power exchange and talk about the good stuff, talk about what's working. It's an airing of grievances to some extent, more of a, this isn't working, I'm struggling here, I wish this was different, that kind of thing. It will be different for everybody if you do these. However you do them, your issues will be different, your situation will be different. How you talk to another might be dictated by your power exchange. Our only rule is that we stay respectful. Sass can be respectful, thank you very much. Until it isn't.
Yeah.
Until it isn't. So, I have tried to break down this conversation into main topics so maybe we can stay on track. Because somebody's going to ask, let's stop. How often should you do this? As often as you need to. Some people do really well with scheduled weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual conversations. For up until recently, we've done really well with just it being a as needed kind of conversation. So pick whatever works. But yeah, let's start. Let's start with the obvious, the actual power exchange relationship.
Okay.
How are you feeling? What is good? What is not great? Where would you like to start on that?
From my point of view, I almost kind of feel like we're coasting.
Oh God, yeah. I would agree with that completely.
Okay. There are our protocols and our rituals and the tasks that you have, and everything's just skating along.
Yeah, it's a rut is probably the best word, but we're doing things because it's what we do, not because
Right.
there's any deep meaning to it.
Right. So, and that has been on my mind for a while, and part of that is my fault. This past year has sucked for me.
Sure.
Especially spring coming into summer, and trying my darndest to get out of that.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a process because there are certain activities you can stop or have stopped, but the feelings behind the things that went on you can't just turn it off like it's a faucet.
Right.
And some things we're still dealing with. Like, is it June of 2021 when our financial bottom fell out? No. But is it the summertime when things are slower and so our stress level goes up? I have a financial section we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, like, I also think, and I continue to think this, because of the things you personally have gone through, from the accident last year, which still is part of the thing you have to deal with,
Right.
to the death of your mom, to the drama around the family stuff with that, because that's a whole other thing on a whole other level. I will continue to advocate for and help in any way that I can that you go talk to somebody about that, which you did have an appointment scheduled. Health is also one of our topics. We'll get there.
Yeah.
You had that appointment scheduled. Things went south with your mom. You just never rescheduled.
Correct.
And I know that taking that first step is hard. I also know, this is not the financial discussion, but I know it's all like this, y'all. The financial aspect of making that appointment stops you. But because, and this is not to say I don't, we're just starting with you.
Yeah.
Because there are things that you need to deal with in whatever way you need to deal with them, the cost is worth it, because when you can start going through whatever that process needs to be for you, then you hopefully have more mental energy for our power exchange.
And I do understand that, and it's not just the cost. It is the cost in a sense. But, to me right now, with the boys' needs for their things, that is more of a priority.
The problem, and I agree, and a lot of that is being sorted.
Yeah.
But I would also counter with the fact that because and this is how this goes, we've had to focus on their needs and a lot of other things.
Right.
That has taken the focus off of our power exchange. We are absolutely coasting, and I know I'm at a point where I'm definitely done coasting.
Yeah.
And I also think that right now if we're not already there, we're much closer to a time when the boys have the things that they have their diagnoses, their medications, all of their appointments, which takes up a lot of time and money and mental energy. But there is space and room and energy for both of us to take care of ourselves. Again, we have a health portion coming. We'll be talking about that. But I think that, to me, the argument for that, because the space is opening up at least a little bit to focus on ourselves as individuals, is it only benefits the relationship. And it, in whatever way it's going to, it gets us back to the power exchange element that is missing that much faster. Not fast, but at least we're moving in a direction with the goal of, okay, we're dealing with this so that we can free up mental space to focus on one another.
And that does make sense.
And I also think that just the act of taking care of ourselves as individuals over on this realm will help us find our connection again in power exchange. And I also think that taking time, setting aside time to reconnect as in DS will help all those other things work better as well.
I do not deny that through all this with my mother, I do need to speak with somebody. Not going to go into a whole lot of detail. I have mentioned it a few times. My father and I have over the years have had a tenuous relationship. And with my mother being ill, me being caregiver, and through her death, that relationship has been pushed to its limit, and we are no longer speaking at all.
But there's so much stuff that came before this.
I know.
That,
right.
You know,
yeah.
If you had made that decision 10 years ago, I would go, that's a valid decision to make.
Yeah.
But there's all that stuff because you didn't always have the easiest relationship with your mother either.
Correct.
And next thing you know, you are the best person to be her caregiver, and you're there up until the end. Like, that's a lot. And then I know somebody's going to go, these people always talk about this. I don't care. Your motorcycle accident, and I don't use this word lightly, it was traumatic for both of us.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think this happened prior to, I think it happened when financially we were strained last summer. Mm-hmm. But I think your motorcycle accident had us coasting. We were coasting from that point.
Yeah.
Because at that point it wasn't just, oh, let's rebuild our financial life. It was also, we each had our own experience of that accident.
Sure.
And I think, looking back, I don't think I could have seen it at the time, and I don't think that we did see it. But I think when I look back, things shifted for us in that moment. Mm-hmm. And they've never shifted back. I don't know that they need to shift back. Maybe they just need to shift forward or shift right or left.
Yeah.
They have never shifted back to where they were.
Right.
And our relationship has, on really small, subtle levels, changed. Like certain things, who does what, who's responsible for what, has changed. I know my anxiety's through the fucking roof. Right. I can't speak to what you go through mentally since that accident, about that accident, but that changed us as well.
Yeah. I will say this in regards to the accident, which kind of shocked the hell out of me. When I was down caring for my mother, I would come home when I could, sneak time in to come home. And one of those times had me leaving about 11:30 p.m., midnight-ish, to come back here. And my initial thought on that was, okay, I will have the road for myself. It is going to be smooth sailing. And the first portion of that trip is, how I say it, local roads getting to the highway. And all I kept thinking was, man, once I get on that highway, I just put it on cruise control and let her rip. And I got on that turnpike, popped on the cruise control, and it was like something just snapped, and I was like, oh shit, it was a night like this. I was coming home on the motorcycle. There was no traffic to be set on the road, and I thought I was going to be fine then. And I had to jump through mental hoops to get out of that mindset coming home. So, it did affect me. And that kind of shocked me when that happened. I did not expect.
I remember when you told me, I was like, welcome to triggers.
Yeah.
We never know when they'll hit.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't actually want to welcome you to triggers.
I know. So, yes, that has had more of an emotional, mental effect on me than...
Oh, yeah, and you do what I do. What a lot of people do is I watch you do it. You go, I'm fine. It doesn't matter. I have other things to do. Mm-hmm. And then I'm grateful that the effect that doing that, I don't want you to do that, but I'm grateful that the effect of you doing that is more that there's a tension, or that we're a little off, or that our power exchange is kind of taking a serious hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it's not a bigger reaction from doing that, but that is the part of the outcome of not dealing with those. I do not use this word lightly. Those traumatic events.
Mm-hmm.
It affects every part of life, and for us, our power exchange has shifted.
Right.
For me, I am so sorry to be crying, y'all. Why did I do my makeup if I was going to cry? For me, of course, my anxiety has gone through the roof. We know that. I've talked about it. Nobody is surprised. Yeah. I'm an anxious marshmallow. But I feel like it's also, not our roles have not shifted. You are daddy dom. I am submissive. But it is hard to be in a submissive mindset when my anxiety tries to make me believe that if I say certain things, do certain things, watch after you, follow behind you, worry all the time, that I can somehow keep you safe.
I wish that were the case. I know.
But what that's done for our power exchange is it is that and a lot of other things, like a lot of responsibilities I've taken on that I didn't used to, and the fact that we are... survival mode is too extreme, but I don't know what the level below that is. We're in that kind of mindset on some things. Means that it is much harder to feel submissive. I know that I have fallen back on baby girl side, the sass, the loud, partly because I need to cut the tension, partly because sometimes in my head it's a split-second decision between be super sassy or be rude as fuck. Yeah. Sassy's gonna win if I can help it.
The sassy will be tolerated. The other will not.
As a service submissive, I think it would be easy to believe, and it's not true, but it's easy to believe that, the more you serve, the more submissive you feel. Not at all. I have been taking care of a lot, and sometimes it's what you want me to do and to take care of you, and sometimes it's to like soothe my own anxiety, and sometimes it's just how things fell out and whatever. But the more responsibility I take on, whether it's asked of me or not, and sometimes it's not. Let's be very real. I give myself responsibilities because I tell myself I need to. But the more that happens, the less submissive I feel. And so then when you try to dom me, I don't have the best reaction.
No.
And I have not had the best reaction.
No, you don't.
Because it's a little bit on this really weird level of, who the fuck are you to tell me? Do you know how much shit I do around here? That is not how I want to think about our life or to live our life.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be resentful. Right. I don't want to feel entitled. I don't want you to feel entitled. Maybe entitled's not the right word, but it's like, once you start doing all the shit, and speaking from my perspective, once I start doing all the shit, then aren't I in charge of all the shit? And what has happened in our power exchanges, you have to ask me a lot more than you used to about what's going on, or because you have so much going on in your mind, you're not retaining the information I'm telling you, and so I'm trying to hand over some of it and go, here, you hold this knowledge for a minute.
Yeah,
you don't have the capacity, but we're not talking about how you don't have the capacity. And then when you forget, and I'm back to reminding, or I just go ahead and do it anyway because sometimes shit just has to get done. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why? So what I do is I don't get mad, and I'm not upset with you, and I don't go, I don't want to be my daddy dom. Like, I don't have any of that. It's more of a, okay, he can't handle that, so I just won't say anything, and I'll just take care of it. But then I add more and more and more, but then the resentment and the not being in a submissive mindset is there.
Yeah.
And that just makes it harder to find our DS in the middle of everything. Mm-hmm. I still, you are always daddy. I am always baby girl. We are 24/7, but the threads of connection that are easier to see and touch and go, this is the thing. This is the thing that makes me feel this way. This is the moment. This is the activity. Like, they're lost in the mist.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to cut you off, so if there's more that you want to say about what's going on, please do. But my thought then turns to, what do we want to do about it? Is there anything to do about it? Is there anything, not as a fix, but steps to take? Because we don't want to not have our DS.
No,
We're not trying to turn it off.
And
so what do we
absolutely
do?
not, because, it's funny. I have been thinking a lot about this. I even was reading a blog post about this. We, at the core of who we are, is our power exchange.
The core of who we are is our love and our friendship and our connection. But yes,
true, but
the candy coating of that
is our power exchange.
The soft nougat inside. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Is the love.
All right.
Yeah. It's a Snickers and the chocolate on the outside that is absolutely required for it to be a Snickers. That's our DS. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Now I want a Snickers.
I'd go for Three Musketeers, but
A Twix, M&M's, peanut M&M's. Mm. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
I think through everything that we have been through over the years, mm-hmm. no matter how tenuous and fragile it has become, that DS connection has always held in some way, shape, or form.
It's sort of like a compass pointing back to one another.
Yeah.
Like if I follow the DS, it takes me right back to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, something that is important to us. Mm-hmm. And we absolutely need to get back to that. Mm-hmm. I think what has happened, and maybe in my own mind I have been unwilling to accept it, this past year, we have come to a point in our lives where our lives have shifted.
Not necessarily in a way we asked for.
And not in ways, some in ways we wanted, some not so much.
Not so much.
Just caca life has thrown at us. And in times past, when things shifted in our lives, we were on it and we were able to say, okay, our lives are shifting. This needs to shift with it.
Right. I feel like everything just happened way too fast all at once.
We had so much shit going on between my accident, the 17-year-old's accident, my procedure, your surgery, then my mother, then
their health, the boys' mental health,
the boys' health, and it's just was one thing after another.
Oh, and money on top of all of it. Let's earn money. Pay a mortgage.
Right. Because it's nice to keep the lights on and have AC in Florida, and in this case, as with every other thing that has happened in our life, even when I was outed and had to step down, we adjusted. We, looked at it and said, okay, this is changing. We are going to change how we do things this way. Mm-hmm. And we adjusted not just our lives, but our DS to go with that. And this time, we totally...
We couldn't. We were in survival mode. It was get through to the next thing and then deal with the next thing while dealing with the new thing.
Mm-hmm. And we got on that flat, easy ride, and there it sat. Yeah.
And now we've also fallen into habits, because I'm thinking like, okay, so to me it feels like I don't know how, I don't know the method, but we need to do a thing or set a activity or a conversation or a something where we are connecting specifically within our power exchange in an intentional way. But I'm also thinking of the habits that we've gotten into. So by the time we finish up our day, which we finish at different times, and then we come back together, it's dinner time, and then whatever's going on after dinner time, I'm on the couch. Maybe I'm reading if I have the mental capacity for it, and I haven't.
Right.
Or I'm scrolling through Instagram Reels. You are chatting with friends, which is a good thing. I'm not here to take that away. But you're playing solitaire, or you're watching
videos.
We are in separate rooms, and we're doing things that are essentially a little bit mindless. And I think on some level that makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with it. But we've gotten into such a habit. Like, we have time. We could easily take 30 minutes, not even every day of the week, and have time for one another.
Right.
We're not making that time.
Exactly.
My used to be type A goody two-shoes at school who loved school, thank you very much, because I was earning those gold stars, thank you very much, it's almost like we should find a workbook, an activity, a thing, and do that. I don't know if that's too structured, if we need something less structured.
Yeah.
But I do think that we have to, in my mind, we have to find a thing that speaks to both of us as a point of DS connection.
Right.
And then work it together, do it together, prioritize the time. We have more time than we think we do, but we both get into this, we don't have any time. That's not true at all.
It's not. And, it's something I said, one, and I'll be honest, it has been in one aspect hard in some ways to get back to a pre-COVID.
Because I don't think we're going to get back to pre-COVID. I think we have to throw all that out. The before times are the before times. I think we have to go, okay, but this is the reality of our life today. Because pre-COVID, and even as COVID was hitting, as stressful as that was, you and I were sitting pretty, okay? Yeah. We were doing okay. We bought a fucking house at the top of COVID.
Yeah.
We were doing fine. We might eventually get back, air quote that. But to me, it's we start from where we're at right now with because everything that's happened to us that's not even COVID related, it's affected us and changed us.
True.
So to me, it's we start from where we're at and we move forward. We throw out, and that I think that's a hard thing to do, is remembering what it was like and wanting to get back to that. And I want that too, but I just don't think that that's
feasible.
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic. So it's okay, here's where we're at now. What's our new normal?
I mean, on the other side of that, we mentioned, a little bit ago, back in July, I ran away for a few days.
You did. You know what? And that sort of sparked some introspection. We talked about that, but I think that's why I'm in this place to be able to do this now.
And the same thing with me, because one of the things that made me realize, and I don't think that it's a bad thing, we had become so focused on taking care of the house, on everything we do here with loving BDSM, everything I do in the shop.
Sure.
And that became so much of a focus for us, that too was easy to let certain things slip. Because, it's, and I've said this before, I've said it recently, and there's a reason why I've said this, shit, now I lost my train of thought.
I was sitting here not interrupting for a
I know you weren't. You weren't. It's just too easy to find stuff that needs to be done around here.
Right. So right now I'm feeling overwhelmed by the idea of to-do lists, although I know I need to-do lists.
Yeah.
And I feel like putting our DS relationship or figuring out whatever, figuring out a way to reconnect needs to be on our to-do list. It needs to matter as much as all these other things.
And I think that's part of the problem too. We make to-do lists for everything that needs to be done around the house. We make to-do lists for what we need to do to take care of the fur babies. We make to-do lists for this, for the shop, but
we don't do it for ourselves.
We don't do it for ourselves.
I do need to interject that of the to-do list that we are making, and so some part of this I'm going to need maybe help with.
Okay.
I make about 85% of those to-do lists.
You do.
And part of the reason I'm overwhelmed by the idea of to-do lists is because
you
right.
Yeah.
So I would say what I would like is I want us to agree on whatever thing we purposefully, mindfully, intentionally do, but I would like you to take the lead on that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the action point from this one is we need to go figure out what that thing is.
Correct.
And then we set a time and we work through it.
Yes.
Maybe it's a 30-day thing. Maybe it's a couple weeks. Maybe it's a 6-month. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, the nice thing about the rest of these topics, we've already hashed out what caused everything.
Right.
So hopefully the rest of these will move a little bit quicker. Right.
Yeah.
We don't have to hash through why.
Correct.
We all know why. Okay. So that's our DS relationship.
Yeah.
We're not feeling connected. We need to purposely do something. I'm asking you to please take the lead on that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Will do.
And I will try not to get overwhelmed. and throw sass in your face.
Yeah.
I will try to remember that we're doing this for a purpose. Okay, so our next one is our kinky fuckery.
Correct.
And I'm going to start with this to say, one scene, which last week was delicious and delightful, does not a return to fuckery make.
No. And you know what? I was thinking, we're coming up on Wednesday. She's going to bring, and we don't have all this stuff to do. We can slip off into the bedroom, until I remembered that this particular Wednesday, things were kind of wonky.
Yeah.
So, I loved what we did last week, and I want more of that.
I know, and here's where I think we had a breakdown in communication. I thought last Friday we had a date day. We dropped the youngest off at school, kicked him out of the car, held on to his puke bowl, because that's our life now. And then we spent 6 hours just doing stuff. It was delightful.
It was.
But I had thought that we were supposed to scene that day.
Ah.
And then I did not enjoy what we did. But at the end of the day, I went, oh, okay, there's no scene today. I was a little disappointed. I will also point out that depending on when we finish this, and we know that can be a crapshoot, the child goes to get his hair cut at 2.
I know.
And then he told me he's immediately, when he's finished, going to the school to pick up who might eventually be his girlfriend again. That's a whole thing. It's not my problem.
Right.
He's happy. I'm happy for him. Picking up a person from school to take them home, to then come home. Like, before you leave to go pick up the child,
there could be
we have
potential
time for something.
Yeah.
Me. A little bit, a little short.
And that would work too. And the other thing I was thinking too is tomorrow is a little wonky as well.
Yes, because we have eye appointments.
We both have eye appointments in the morning. By the time we get back, I'm sorry, folks. I know I got stuff I could do, but
you've got so many paddles to make.
By gosh, by golly, I can only take the heat so many hours in the day.
Sure.
Yeah,
the noontime Florida heat in summer is not the time.
It is the August, and the dog days of summer are hot and heavy right now here in Florida. So, by the time we get back from that, I'm not going to be in the shop. So, we have some open time there too.
We do. I made sure all of the deadlines of things I had to do this week were done early.
Right.
I did that on purpose.
So, that again too, even with the kinky fuckery, and I realized that last week with what we did in the morning, and believe me, I was grinning ear to ear knowing you were sitting tender.
Oh my God, you spank we still do our nightly go to bed routine. A swat on the ass.
And you get some swats before
every
I
night.
give you permission to go to bed.
Right. And then sometimes you forget to give me permission to start talking, and I just stand there, and you're like, why aren't you in the bed? Because you haven't told me I can.
And sometimes it's just deliberate.
I know.
You sit there and wait.
And I low-key like that. It's good. I'm happy. Anyway, for several days, you would it was tender. Like, and you couldn't see anything, but it was tender.
Poke.
It was like, damn. It was pleasant. It was a jolt. It was like, what the fuck? What has happened to my butt that I am still tender after all this time? I don't want to, even though I am a person who definitely tends to do this kind of thing, I don't want to put so much structure around our fuckery that I think there's definitely a benefit to scheduling. I was just watching Hannah Witten's latest video about scheduling sex, and in my mind I was just replacing the word sex with kink, because it all
it's all intertwined.
Right.
It's all intertwined.
Like, there's definitely a benefit to scheduling our kink, and sometimes you just have to do it. So there's a part of me that wants to have that structure where we kind of look at our week or look at our day ahead of whatever, go, hey, we can pencil it in here.
Right.
There is a part of me that doesn't want to do that so much that we don't leave space for spontaneity, but I worry that too much spontaneity and we go right back to the old habits.
So there has to be, we have to find that middle ground to where
I'm
it works.
happy for right now to absolutely, whether we're scheduling it a day in advance or a week in advance, I am happy to schedule it until we kind of find our groove. I because of how intertwined our power exchange and our fuckery are for us in our relationship, I would imagine that as we kind of find our way back to a power exchange level that makes us happier, we probably will, just because it kind of all goes together for us.
It's intertwined.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't add this as a separate. I'm going to slide it in here.
Uh-oh.
We are working on it when we get. Oh, I didn't put. I meant to put health, but I did not.
Mm-hmm.
Health is a topic too.
Yeah.
I put money. I forgot to put health. So we'll slide. We'll combo
okay.
this.
Let's. Yeah.
Where does sex fit? Because obviously not everybody who is kinky combines that with their sex life, but we are a married couple who is sexual most of the time. Sex is definitely, or was, a part of our life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with low arousal, libido, desire levels since way before fucking COVID. And I'm still working my way through that. The stress of everything from COVID and then just the past freaking year has put a damper on your libido, arousal level, whatever term you'd like to use. And while I still absolutely have those moments where I go, oh God, no, please, no, not sex, not sex. I have more moments now of, why aren't we having more sex? And I think some of that dips into the category I forgot to add, which is health, because for me, there's a mental health aspect I know for me that will kill any desire I have for sex. Then whatever was going on with my body that was all out of whack, maybe it was the IUD, maybe it was something else, that's gone now. But now I've had a hysterectomy where I still have my ovaries, but the hormones aren't quite things don't work quite the way it once did, because some parts are missing. So it's like, okay, is it that? And I need to talk to my doctor about that. Is it just stress? And stress alleviates, libido goes up. Is it habit? Where, I mean, I have lately been literally reminding myself, you should masturbate. You have a great toy right here. It's a toy I recommended before. I'm just saying, if you need a good thumpy vibrator, the Curve by Hot Octopus. I haven't linked it anywhere. I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying, that thing it's become my new favorite, because the vibrations, even when mentally my head's like, I do not give a rat's ass about this orgasm, the vibrator will be like, I don't care. I'm just here to do a job, and I'm going to do it well. And it does. So a few times I've masturbated just to sort of remind myself, oh yeah, I can have an orgasm. Also, I'm pretty sure an orgasm helped break a 4-day migraine I had. I was so desperate. I was like, I need something to alleviate this pain. And that's another part of it. That's why health comes into this.
Part of this.
I've had so many migraines. I've got a doctor's appointment. Don't worry. I've had so many things that just feel a little off that of course it kills sexual desire.
And that was something a couple weeks ago I finally told you. I said, look, with these migraines going on, I want you to get in and talk to a doctor, because this is getting, you get rid of one, you're good for a day, maybe two.
Right.
And then you've got another one coming on.
I know.
You need to look into this.
And what's funny? Like, I feel like what's supposed to have happened is my daddy Dom said that, and submissive me immediately went to do it. And that's not how that went in my head.
No,
how that went in my head was, he's right. I know he's right, but oh fucking God, I don't want to, because then I'm going to have the conversation that I've been avoiding for 2 years about my blood pressure, which probably is tied to anxiety, but I don't know. And I've already had the thought of, I need to make an appointment with the psychiatrist to maybe talk about anxiety meds, because ever since both of y'all's accidents last year, the intrusive thoughts, the God, the everyday anxiety. And I'm sure that's not, migraines, that being my particular issue, can be tied to so many things. I know that sugar is a trigger. I have drastically reduced my sugar intake, so there. Caffeine could be a trigger. I drink a lot. I drink a lot less caffeine than I ever used to. I get more migraines. Stress is absolutely a trigger. Ding, ding, ding. I think we found it. So I kind of can check the box on nearly every potential trigger of a migraine.
Yeah.
And the over-the-counter stuff just doesn't even touch it anymore, and they're coming faster and they're more frequent. So how the hell am I going to be thinking about sex? But I'm knowing all of that. But I had to get to the point, it was that 4-day headache where I was like, I don't care about the lecture I'm going to get on my blood pressure, and I don't care about, and I've got to do this. I can't function. Right. And if I can't function, I mean, there's definitely no libido, and there's definitely no DS. Like, there's nothing.
There were a couple days you were pretty much incapacitated for 2 days in a row. And
that's kind of new for me. Before it was like maybe once a year I'd get one that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm also having my vision checked. We're doing that tomorrow just to double check it's not that. Especially since I finally had to take my glasses off to read something close up. I'm very annoyed.
Yeah.
Don't want bifocals.
And
fucking A.
You know, in between with me, with all the stress I've been under, I have been emotionally eating, which I have gained a lot of visceral fat in my middle section, which I have been feeling the effects of lately. And even myself, I have been having some health thingamabobbers going on.
You have an appointment scheduled for
I have
September.
an appointment scheduled.
That's another thing. Speaking of health, I don't know why I didn't type it out as a section. Because here's the thing. Part of it is my own childhood trauma. And part of it is just part of who I am as a submissive. I am watching you very closely. It could be considered creepy by somebody who did not consent to it. And I can tell mood swings and how you're behaving before you ever tell me something's wrong. We have tracked this sometimes before he knows something's wrong. And you were so off.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I knew you were off, but I was like, we've got a lot of shit to do. I don't have time to ask why the fuck you're off. And then we were fighting about shit that didn't need to be fought about. And I was like, I finally got you to say it. And then you tell me, not a huge, like, laundry list of health concerns, but legitimate health concerns, not that much longer after I had just been lectured that I needed to make an appointment for my migraines. Are you fucking kidding me? And then, and so you had your own hesitation because you needed to change doctors and you were being overwhelmed by that. And this is where I use my power for good, not evil. And the things I'm capable of are beneficial. And God, in a way, I definitely want to use them for you as my life partner, but also as your submissive. I was like, I know how to make an appointment with the doctor's office without either of us talking to anybody. And I will happily pretend to be you and say, I don't want to see that damn doctor anymore. Give me this one. In the professional, polite way. And I had it done in essentially 10 minutes. Now, granted, the state of healthcare being what it is, especially in the U.S., it's a 4-week wait before you can get in. Right. But it's done. That's off your plate. We're barreling towards that appointment, and we will deal with whatever the doctor says at that point. Right. We might all be much more medicated by the time we get through our doctor's appointments.
I mean,
it's something.
You know, there have been some things, and I have always been aware that, you know, family history is important when it comes to health. You know, since my sister died of colon cancer, you know, I've always made sure I've gotten, you know, the colonoscopy.
We Roto-Rooter up there annually as we need to.
And,
well, not we Roto-Rooter, the professionals do.
Yeah. But, you know, I would always ask my family, you know, what's going on? How are you? You know, what's, you know,
what illnesses are,
what things have been going on with you? You know, oh, nothing. I'm healthy as a horse. I'm not on any medication. I'm, you know, nothing.
If you never go to a doctor, you never have to be on medication. Ask me how I know.
You know, in the case of my dad, yes. My mother, the whole thing with being her caregiver, I found out things that shocked the hell out of me, that I had no idea were going on.
That now you need to update your health care to go.
I need to update my health care because of some of these things that I've been going through. Kind of been. Oh,
I know. It's the knowledge is good to have because then you can hopefully catch things early or prevent things. Right. But it's also scary because it was like, oh, I didn't know that could be a thing that was going to get me in 20 years. Yeah. Like what?
So, you know, it's been a hell of a year finding all this.
I know. And it's stressful. Like I know for both of us, our weight, the weight we've put on since COVID especially, has not helped our libido, our desire for sex, has not helped our overall health. It's, you know, it's not a defining trait. We still love one another. You know, I don't want to get into a debate about the issues with dealing with weight and body size and shape. Like, no. but we can see a marked difference from this point to this point. Then we're just getting older. We're at these stages in life that other issues are cropping up. We've got to deal with it. I want to do I intend for you to live to be as old as fucking Methuselah, okay? And then I'm going to be always 18 years younger. So whatever Methuselah's age was, me minus 8, that minus 18, that's us together. Okay. My anxiety is such that I almost daily, when an anxious thought hits about your health or us being together or the universe trying to take us apart, and no, the universe is going to find I'm a bitch from hell. When. So I send up a little thought to manifest to the universe of give us at least another 20, 30 years, another 20, 30. Now, if I'm 70 and still saying another 20, 30 years, I'm probably a little delusional at that point. But that's my daily thought. So your health is more important to me than my own, which I know.
See, there we go. There's that loop again.
So yeah, there's a part of it where it's definitely impacting our sex life, but it's just impacting our life. And if we can get our arms around some of it, get answers for some stuff is not going to go away. It's the nature of life. Some stuff we might need medication for. Some stuff we might need a lifestyle change for. I'm dreading that one. What do you mean I can't eat like I did in my 20s? I still don't even eat like I did in my 20s, but you know what I mean? That's a tough one, right? That's what keeps us hopefully staying together, air quote strong, whatever the fuck that's going to mean. I want us to stay on top of our health, but I know that our health has impacted our sex life. Right. So I would say with our sex life, I'm putting it out there. Okay. If you wake up, please not we said this conversation before, not in the weekday when I have to wake up the next morning, but on the weekend, if you wake up and you're like, oh, there's a hard on. Okay. Look, just knock on my door. Okay. Just tap, tap, tap. Lube up real good, because God knows I need that. And let's if you feel the urge, I'm putting it out there. Okay. If I really don't want to, I'll let you know.
All right.
Because really, it's not even about a sexual desire. It's the connection. I know I will not wake up with sexual desire on a Saturday morning at 5 a.m. when you wake up with a hard on. I know I won't. But if the part of my brain that is having this conversation can turn on just enough to go, wait, but you miss this, then I'm going to be fine with it, because I'm not doing it for sexual gratification. I'm doing it because I'm letting you do it, because I want the connection. I want that feeling of what it used to be like. And sometimes the way you get that again is just to do it, not when you're not consenting to it. I'm saying this publicly. I'm definitely consenting to it. But when you don't feel like it, you consent to it, but you're not excited about it. Sometimes that's the start, is I could do it. Don't ask me if I'm hyped to do it, but I could. And doing it that time means sometimes the next time actually you're like, oh wait, I remember why I used to like doing this. Because it's so easy for parts of it's a use it or lose it kind of thing. And you don't really lose it. You just forget why it matters. And then you forget how good it can feel. And then it's that pathway in your brain between, wait, you really like how this feels, and wait, oh yeah, that's right, I'd like to feel that way again. You kind of almost, and this is a super simplification and it won't apply to everybody, and I know that, but sometimes that's the spark you need. Yeah. It's like taking spark plugs to our sex life.
Jumper cables.
I knew I was using the wrong one. I was the spark I was trying to create.
Yes.
We're keeping romance alive here. Okay. So we're going to continue looking after our health and do the things we need to do. Yeah. In order to help ourselves also. That includes mental health. To get back to our DS, to get back to our sex life, to get back to our kinky fuckery, to stay together until we hit whatever Methuselah's supposed age was. I know that will really confuse people who happen to be kinky and are religious or spiritual or whatever. You even know that? Yeah, I'm Southern. I know about it. I just don't care about it. Okay. Again, we don't have to go into backstory. We know how we got here. Yeah. Money.
I know.
So I put this one on the thing.
I saw that.
Because very early in our show, way back in the archives, we actually did an episode on how we handle money, and it was very much you control things.
Yes.
Now, we shifted, and I think rightfully so, I've never thought this was wrong. We shifted a lot of how we handle our money and who does what and a lot of the responsibilities when you stopped having the 9-to-5 reliable paycheck.
Correct.
We went fully self-employed. The money kind of comes in when it comes in.
Right.
There's no steadiness to it other than usually days where you think some deposit will be made, but how much it'll be? But then over the past year, it's shifted a little bit more. I now essentially pay all the bills.
You do.
Follow all of the balances. I know how much money's coming in. I know how much money needs to go out. You do none of that anymore. No. And so to me, it made sense to put it on this list because, one, I would not want anyone listening or watching to think that if you have heard that in the archive, that we're still there. We're complete opposite of there.
Nowhere near that at this point, no.
And I have opinions and don't have opinions, but I wanted to put it out there because it's not part of it. I handle money partly as service. I think it started as service, especially the full takeover of all bill paying, all worrying about it.
Right.
Once everything went to shit last year and your accident, like you just were not capable of it.
No, I was nowhere
when you were with your mom, obviously I needed to do it.
Right.
So it's more of a check-in of are we individually good with the setup? Are there things we want to shift? And I'm going to start with you because you used to have control and now have.
I did.
The control you have is I don't spend a dime without us having a conversation.
Right.
First.
And
you don't spend a dime without talking.
Right.
And
at this point in time, I'm going to say I am perfectly fine with the way that is. I know you're not happy about that right now.
I know
you are not. But and see, for me though, this is something that kind of plays into one of the upcoming portions of this is work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's what I would say to that.
Okay.
Because I think that there's not much to say because in order to make a change, there has to be consent for both of us to make a change.
Right.
Here's what I would ask.
Okay.
Because especially once finances tanked, I have lived that life of how to rob Peter to pay Paul to, make Mary happy. Like, I understand. All the biblical references today. Holy shit. Holy shit. Unholy shit.
That's kind of how you wound up in the position doing what you were doing.
But that's the thing. I did have the experience. And that's why I said, okay, let me look at these. I know what it's like to be dead ass fucking broke and not know how you're going to pay a bill. You don't. So, and we are not quite there, but we are. The request I would make, if I keep hitting the chords, I'm sorry if it's fucking with anybody's volume. I'm happy to keep doing it.
Okay.
The request I would make is for you to be a bit more invested, to know a little bit more about what's going on.
Yes.
So that every time we have a financial discussion, I'm not starting from zero to explain all of it.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that. Yes. Yeah. And I do need to sit down with you more on that. And I don't disagree with you.
And this happens. I'm sure it happened. I think it probably happened less when you were in charge of the money because it was very much a submissive headspace for me. Because I never given, in my adult life, nobody else had ever had control of my money before. And so it was when you were in control of the money, it was a reminder every single time of how submissive I was. And it was a choice and I consented, blah, blah, blah.
At that time, I even had a, oh God, I can't think of the word now. Like an allowance.
Yeah. And we did that for a while. And and we had to. The what's different now, because I don't feel submissive doing this. And the thing I'm going to ask of you.
Okay.
That I don't think I did much of when you were in charge of the money, but I probably did a little bit because old habits die hard, is I know we won't always agree on what to do with money. And you are ultimately the decider when it comes to money. And I'm fine. I'm mostly fine with that. Okay. Every once in a while, I'm like, I'm not fine with that. And we talk it through and we work it out. But there are times, I think because you feel like information's coming at you from out of nowhere because you aren't keeping up with it and you don't know what's going on, where I come to you with an issue and a couple of possible solutions that I think would work best. That doesn't mean you can't give me your possible solutions.
Right.
But you will have a reaction because you don't like the choices.
Yeah.
Where I internalize it as it's like I've done something wrong, and I know that's not true.
Not true. Right.
But I would almost say that instead of having the immediate reaction of, well, I hate these choices. Well, you know what? Me fucking too, bucko. Like, I wish money grew on the tree outside in our backyard rather than oranges.
Yeah,
okay.
right? Yeah.
Maybe if we start selling the oranges, that can be our money tree. I don't know. But what I need is, one, for you to have more buy-in before I have to get to the decision-making process. And two, just to be mindful of, if you have to not like the choices you're being given, that it ain't my fucking fault. Because that is where the resentment comes out.
I
like, if you don't like the choices, you fucking do it, is how I kind of think about it.
Yeah, and if I come across that I'm putting it on you, that's not my intention.
Right, and I didn't think it was.
It's the the choices in the situation that are not good.
Right, so, absolutely. But it's just, to sort of be mindful of that. If I'm going to keep taking it on, I can't keep feeling like the bad guy when I got to give you bad news. And also feeling like I'm re-explaining the same thing. Like, sometimes I don't. Like, you know how much the mortgage is? We just talk about it. I go, okay, I'm paying it today. It's fine. But then we start talking about credit cards and we start talking about purchases. And it's like, I feel like we start from ground zero every time. And it's like, I can keep doing this, and I can even maybe get my head around it as an act of service, but it needs to feel like service that's appreciated, which that's not always easy to do. It's money. It's money. Yeah. Okay. So we feel good about that one?
Yes.
Okay. Parenting, I don't think we have a lot to say. I think we're on the same page, but I wanted to put this here because I wanted to acknowledge some stuff that has changed for the positive. Okay. And I also wanted to hear what you thought.
Okay.
So...
even with that, we had gone through a rough patch.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All the childhood traumas and triggers from everybody were cropping up in those.
Yes.
And I don't mean just the adults here. Like, it was rough.
We have, in that, I think we have overall gotten to a much, much better place.
Yes.
That is the one thing I think
like,
that has...
check that off.
Exactly.
Well, and that's why I put it on here, because I wanted to say to you, to acknowledge to you that I see the change in you. And I don't know if it's because there are now official diagnoses from professionals and it's not just an overprotective mom who wants to coddle her boys, or if it was just... you even said the other day, you were like, I kind of just decided that I didn't want to be pissed off anymore. Right. And I was like, yes. But I wondered if it was a combination or it was something else I'm not thinking of.
It's been a combination of things. And, in a sense, I had my own little catastrophizing going on.
Sure.
Okay.
These children are going to turn out to be, oh my God, what kind of heathens are we raising?
No, it's not that. I mean, oh my God, things could be so much way worse than they are.
And you had bad tapes from previous relationships and stepchildren, and you were worried that you were going to see a similar outcome. And I'm over here going, but I'm not that bitch over there.
Things were going to replay.
No, we will not let that happen.
and even things from my own childhood.
Sure, exactly. Man, parenting, parenting will bring up all the things you thought you forgot from when you were 6.
Yeah.
I know.
So, I kind of made the thing the other day when the oldest and I were kind of...
They roast one another as their love language now. I'm like, I don't know how to handle this.
And I was just kind of like, and finally I just came to the point of, if you can't beat them, join them. Mm-hmm. And,
Man, there's been a shift between y'all too.
There has been a shift, a much better shift, and I'm happy for it. I'm glad that we, when he was younger, we had a relationship. Then things kind of started getting wonky, and now we're
back. We're getting back.
We're getting back on the other side of that, And I feel like we're in a good place and getting better.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed that, and I've been grateful for that. And I do think that it not just being me going, but this is how he is, and it being a no, diagnosably, this is how he is, and here are some options for treatments and some coping.
Yeah.
But this is who he is, and let's embrace it, right?
And
so I feel like that's part of it. On the opposite end, in a good way, I think, with the youngest. So I am, y'all know, I'm a people pleaser. I want to fix shit. Conflict among the people I love, between children and husband. That's a hard one. That is, yep, straight from childhood. That's problematic. And so I was constantly trying to like fix things. And I, because of my own shit, worried you were overly strict. And because of your own shit, you worried I was overly lenient.
Right.
And this is the one place that DS does not play a part. We make decisions equally, and man, that's tough.
Yeah,
I almost wish we could rely on our power exchange, but I will not, as a mother, do that. It's wrong to me.
It would not be
right. I won't tamp down Mama Bear for the sake of a relationship. Just can't do it.
Right.
But the opposite with the youngest, I feel I've been taking a page from your book. You've always worried I've been too lenient, and I probably have been in some ways. And I've been, instead of being terrified that you were going to repeat the patterns in my head of father figures, I've let you be who you are with both of them, but definitely the youngest. And you're firmer, and you're a little bit more no bullshit than I am. I'm more like, oh, let's definitely talk about your feelings and get through to the why of why you don't want to do this thing. And you're like, okay, I get that there are reasons why, but we got to do this thing. And working with the youngest to deal with his issues, get him the right treatment and the right whatever, the right plan has helped him. But me stepping back and letting you parent him the way you do, even when I don't love it, because it's not the way I would do it, because it's not actually causing harm. It's not a bad thing. It's just different. I feel like that's made a difference. You have a different relationship with him than I do, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And I feel like I have finally gotten to a point where I can kind of let go of trying to make you have the kind of relationship that I have with them.
And the thing is, with the youngest, you know, yes, he and I have a different relationship than I have with the oldest. They are two very different people.
Polar opposites in some ways.
Totally polar opposites. And, you know, where the oldest was always stomping at the bit to do things, and he wanted to move out at 11 years old and be on his own and do his own thing. He's now starting
to rethink that as he gets closer to high school graduation.
He's starting to figure out, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be.
No, maybe not.
The youngest, he is the opposite. He will hold back. And the thing is, he in his own way, he is very smart. He is very capable of doing so many things. He doesn't
believe that he is.
And he doesn't believe that he is.
We're working on that.
And he needs that.
He needs the push.
He needs that push. Okay? So, you know, where I'm not, you know, sitting there cracking a whip. You got to do this. You got to do this. You know, I'm there pushing him. Because then once he does the thing,
I know he blossoms.
Yeah,
he just blooms. I know, and I agree. And the difference now between now and previous times, I let you do that, but I struggled with it, and now it's less of a struggle. It's like I've seen you be who you are as a parent with him, and it work out often enough that my mind goes, even if it's not perfect, it'll work out. And anything that doesn't work out is fixable.
Yeah.
Like, and no actual harm will be done. It's fine. Take a breath.
Yeah.
It's calm down. Let JB parent. Let him do it. And you know what? It's a little bit why I'm not saying I want to make a change, because I don't, but I wish I could be submissive in parenting with you, because I have control issues. I am capable of taking control, and sometimes I like taking control. But my control issues will often, especially when I believe in my whole heart that I'm right, they will come forward like my way or the goddamn highway, and it is a and part of that is because their biological father, other than a couple of blips in our relationship while he was still around, he let me have all the control. So I made and I'm not saying I made all the right decisions or the wisest decisions or that there definitely was not another better way to do something. But I had all that control over the earliest parts of their life. And then I was a single mom when he dipped. And to share that control and to be on equal footing with you in that situation. Now, man, that's a switch to go from talking about bills where I am the submissive to dealing with parenting where I am not. That's a focus shift that I can't even describe. I don't even have words for it. But it's the control I know that I have exerted, can exert, and it makes me want to usually hold on that much tighter. And learning to let go of the control, not as a submissive, but just as you're my equal partner in this, and your method is different, but your method is valid. You know, I've had that shift, and it's been nice, and I think it's made it easier for all of us. I also think that now that the oldest is in his senior year of high school and barreling towards college, you have finally gotten on board with an idea I've had for at least a year or so of, we're not actually raising him anymore. Yeah. We're just sort of guiding him, so hopefully he doesn't, end up on the side of the road or in jail. There's no teaching right from wrong anymore. Mm-hmm. Those lessons hopefully have been learned. There's more of a, okay, here are the guardrails. Try to stay within them. If you fall over the guardrail, we'll be here. We don't tell you you're a dumbass, but we'll be here for you. Which is a weird shift because the youngest one is still in the raising phase. Yes. He's just young enough. We got a year or so of this before it won't be.
We still got a little bit of moldability there, and got to make the most of it.
Swinging from definitely power exchange to parenting, has been rough for us our whole relationship. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it might, knock on wood, that doesn't mean there won't be issues that come up, but it's getting a little bit easier.
It's getting easier. That is something that has shifted into a very positive note at this point.
Final topic.
Okay.
Unless you have something else you want to say.
No.
And it's the one thing I'll start on this one. Our final topic is about business. Now, not every kinky couple works together, owns a business together, but I know a lot of y'all do because y'all message me, and a lot of y'all do, so I don't feel so alone. Here's the thing I will say, and this is my take. You might see it differently. Our business life, while it is not always perfect, I feel like it is the one place we are perfectly in sync 99% of the time. Yeah. The 1% we're not, we're only kind of out of sync.
Right. We do. When it comes to our work, we are very polished, we're on
the same page.
Very succinct
most of the time
in the things that we do. Mm-hmm. And
we're driven, we're focused, we're excited.
Because I think we know everything that hinges on that.
True. But I also wish we could bring that energy to our power exchange, to our fuckery, to our sex life.
And our other things. And yes, we need to. And I am not, I have to say, in everything with my mom, with her illness, her passing, while my mom was not well-to-do, she did have, there were some things that were left to us, to my sister and I.
That has gotten us through this fucking summer.
That has helped get us through the summer. It has allowed me to invest in new tools. Mm-hmm. And, with my shop, things have been growing. I am grateful for that, to everybody who has shopped with us. I am ever so grateful. And, my goal with these new tools is to get to a point of working smarter, not harder. Mm-hmm. Because, stepping back to kind of, I think it was the finances we were talking about, because of the way things have grown, which I'm happy for, mm-hmm. I'm having to spend more time with that work in the shop.
Mm-hmm. Probably the only, and it's not new, it won't be new information for you to hear. I don't know if it's a criticism, if it's The part that's hard for me right now, we are in sync on our business goals. We are enthusiastic together. We cheer each other on when the other has ideas. We support each other. Oh my God, right? Also, you're still holding me back from my latest Etsy shop idea that I'm not going to start because I don't have time or resources, but man, I fucking want to. Anyway. The one place I would say it's a little bit like the finances. So there's a lot about your business, our business, Loving BDSM, that if I walked off into the mist tomorrow,
I'd be lost. Yes.
And it's a weird place to be where I like that control. I like having my fingers and everything. I like knowing what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But because so much of our life has become so overwhelming and the businesses are growing and there's a lot of effort to be put into future growth and blah, 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 that once you pile on the life admin, the parenting admin, our health, all the things that, because I'm the scheduler and I'm the keeper of deadlines and information for every single person in this house. I don't know what I'm going to do when the oldest moves out and goes to college, whatever. Also being the keeper of all of the important knowledge of how all of the businesses run. Now, I'm well aware that without you and your skill and your knowledge, there would be no business for at least 2 of the 4 things that we do. Obviously, I don't say all this to diminish your importance.
No.
But not being able... Like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to share because I love having my fingers and everything. There's a part of me that gets so fucking overwhelmed. I'm like, can somebody else know how this works?
I mean, I have no misconceptions when it comes to going out in the shop and working on what I do and for the most part keeping the tools running.
Yeah, I would be lost. I could do none of that.
The technical aspect of everything that connects all this stuff that brings us to you.
And maybe that's it. Because you do so much that if you stop doing it, there would also be no businesses.
Yeah.
I just feel so overwhelmed by
and yet
my part.
I don't have, and I have said this to you, everything you do social media wise, between Twitter, between Insta, for the kinkery, for Loving BDSM, I'd be like underwater, gasping for air.
Well, if I had to go stand at your lathe, I'd be like, well, I guess everybody just gets square pieces of wood now. And, here's the thing.
So, I mean, to a certain extent, I understand how you feel, because sometimes I feel that way. I was like, boy, I wish I had some help out here.
Which I've been offering.
I know.
Part of me is like, what am I doing? Like, I don't have other things
to do. I know you already have so much on your plate for what you do. The admin work is no less important than what I do. It's no more, no less work and difficult than what I do.
And maybe, I don't know if it's just the structure of it. There's something that I need a shift in. And here's the thing. I don't think I want you to do the stuff I do, because you have your stuff to do. I think it goes back to the finances. I want you to know more about it so it doesn't feel like I'm explaining it from scratch every time we talk about it. That being said, I kind of hear the imbalance in that, because when I ask all the time, how does this tool work? I hope the difference is my perception is you enjoy talking about how your tools work. So me asking for the umpteenth time, you're like, okay, this is fun. You going, but how many things did we sell last month? I'm like, we've had 34 conversations about it. And actually, you know what? I'll say this in thinking about this now that we're actually talking about it. It's not the actual amount of work and labor. I think that is mostly evenly distributed, and then we come together in the middle to do the things that only we can do together, like this podcast. Okay. It's that I also feel like I do the emotional labor of, and maybe this is on me for doing it and I don't need to do it, but it's the people pleaser in me. Maybe it's going back to all the other things we need to work through mental health wise and whatever, so that it's unnecessary for me to do. But I do a lot of emotional labor of letting you know that actually this is working. Like because I see the numbers every day and I see the progress and I'm tracking it, because of course I am. I'll be stressed about money. I'll be stressed about money, but I'm still hopeful for the future.
Right.
And hopefully that's realistic optimism.
Sure.
But because you're not in the inner workings of the business, you don't see that. You just see you've got product to make and a podcast to make. And what happens is I then expend extra energy going, no. For the 10th time this month, let's talk about these numbers. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. And I don't know how to fix that. That's been an ongoing thing with us.
I know.
Maybe it's an act of service, but again, we've talked about this with service especially before.
Yeah.
The more service we take on, everybody's got a limit, and there comes a point where it doesn't feel like service anymore. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I mean, to a certain extent, I am seeing that more because I'm making more and more.
You're right. You can't keep up with me going, I need more product. More product, please. More product, please. Yeah.
And again, that's why, with these new tools, yes, I mean, I had a tool I bought back in March, and because of everything that's been going on, I didn't actually get it set up and working till a week ago. And then it wasn't until yesterday,
day before
recording, that I actually put it into practical use. And you saw what I came in with last night.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at a lot of potential product.
Right. So I am seeing that, and when I ask you those things now, it's not so much out of disbelief, but it's kind of like it. At this point, it's something that's like, yeah, we're and that kind of.
So what I'm hearing is, if I'm just patient, it's like the parenting thing. We'll get on the same page if I just fucking wait it out.
The patience word.
Damn it. Damn it. That was a pretty big state of our DS relationship.
It was.
Partly because our DS relationship encompasses every part of life.
And I think, unless you're, I think, somebody who just goes out to, pick up play and, occasional play like that, if you are in a relationship, it intertwines into
even when you don't mean
for it to do. It intertwines into all aspects of your day-to-day life.
Right. Which I will say, this has been an hour and 20 minutes of this. That's not the worst. And we're doing it knowing that, like, we understood going into it was going to be this long. Yeah. I will say, personally, for me, this is why I prefer most of the time to keep this as an ongoing thing. A thing kind of comes up, an issue kind of comes up, a thought comes up when we just talk it out, because it can be a lot to go, let's go sit down somewhere and talk for 2 hours.
Right.
Like that can be, I mean, I can sometimes do it. So business wise, I feel like what I heard is just be patient, because you're getting to where I need you to be, so I don't feel like I'm so alone.
Right.
And quite frankly, if there's a thing we need to shift, I don't want to shift our enthusiasm. I don't want to shift our effort. I want to maybe for both of us to relax a little bit and go, and we are kind of getting there. Actually, we don't have to go full tilt 7 days a week. And, some people even rest on the 7th day. Yeah. And we need to find the times for rest so we can then go do the fucking and the this
and the other things.
Which we are getting a little bit better.
We are slowly starting to get better at that. We are... I think it has, we didn't see the forest from the trees,
sure,
so to speak. And that's why I said earlier, and I'll say it again, my little trip kind of helped open my eyes to that.
It was a jolt to our everyday routine.
Yeah.
It was a jolt. For me, it was a reminder that you're not just my daddy, and that that as my partner, you can be more than you have been. I can be more than it was a refresh. I was envious. We've had that conversation already. But not like in a way that I couldn't function, but in a way that hopefully I used that energy to think through some things, to bring some conversations up. You used your time, and the thoughts you had about it for conversation, and we used it for our benefit instead of as a wedge.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the state of our DS.
Yeah. There you go. Work in progress as always.
As always. We are, as usual, thankfully, I know this is not the case for everybody, we are mostly on the same page. We mostly agree about how to shift things.
Right.
I feel like from my perspective, it's another classic case of me taking on as much as possible to be of service, because that's how I love people, is to take care of them. And you letting me, but not in like the, oh yeah, because that's just what I do, take advantage of me, but because it's been a rough goddamn year for you. And you are still working through some shit. And as you work through things, whether that's with professional help or just the nature of time, as long as we're mindful about the shifts that we've gone through, we can figure out what our new way is.
Yeah. Yep.
So, okay. Maybe a short bonus section.
I think a short bonus section.
A very short bonus section. For YouTube folks, I intend to do plenty of timestamps if you're just now joining or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
It's
Wow. I know. I'm going to need a nap after this, and we got stuff to do.
I don't have time for a nap. By the time we wrap up here, I'll be on the road.
Dude, it's 1:30 right now. Don't ever say I'm the exaggerator around here. Anyways, we'll do a little bonus section.
Yep.
Okay.
So are we good?
I don't know, but I know I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
All right.
Keep it kinky, y'all. And we'll see you next week. Daddy.
Yes, baby girl.
Can I talk to the crickets? And please don't tell me I've been talking to the crickets. I've actually been talking to you. This was our conversation.
I know. So on that note, go ahead and talk to the crickets.
Thank you, Daddy. Hello. So the only thing that I was like, oh yeah, we'll have to take a couple pictures of this. So we have talked about since we moved in here, so 2 years, that in this office is a love seat. That is Lola's throne.
Yeah.
Lola's about to be dethroned.
So
we tried, when we moved into this house, we bought the house mostly because of this office, because this is where we work. We were like, let's have a corner that's not an office. It's a little place to sit, which the dog quickly took over as her corner, which was fine. But we have to expand our storage capacity for the shop, thekinkery.com. We talked about business. Did we mention our businesses? No, because we are so professional. We have to get more storage, but we can't, it's not feasible to buy a shed or lease warehouse space, even though that is maybe on a long-term goal. We don't know yet.
Right.
So we were reconfiguring this room, and we thought at first we were just going to push Lola's throne to a corner.
Right.
And then we realized the type of shelving unit we have since purchased and will be supposedly putting together tonight, so I can reorganize the entire inventory, shipping, blah, 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 ahead of the holidays, that the love seat needs to go. But what we've done for right now is we've pushed it into a different position. Everybody loves that. The kids come in and go, I love this. We're like, don't get
used
attached.
to it.
That's going. The dog loves it. She has been just spending a lot of time on that love seat. It's almost like maybe she knows.
Yeah.
But we're not completely heartless, and there will be a little bit of room left once we get the shelving unit up. And she is getting a new dog bed specifically for this office.
Right. And
it's actually a dog cot.
Yeah.
So she'll be elevated. I'm feeling a little bad that we're about to take her throne from her.
I know.
She's going to give us that look.
Yeah.
With those big old eyes. And what am I going to do about that? But we need the storage space in this office.
We need the space. between me upping inventory and some new things that are on the horizon, we need space.
We need space. Yep. So we're making space
initially
happen.
she told me she needed more space. I was like, well, okay, I guess we need to sell the house and get a bigger place.
See, if we sell this house, we're downsizing, okay? I know. But with these interest rates, I don't think so. God, that's how you know you're old, when you're like, oh, let me talk about my house and the interest rate.
Right,
We're officially... I mean, I guess we've been grown-ups for a while, but we're really grown-ups. We're worried about interest rates.
So yeah, we're it's going to be interesting to see how Lola handles the shift when we get her this new bed and get rid of the love seat. So yeah,
and she has a bed next to where we record. That cushion is actually going to go into another room as well. Mm-hmm. So she'll actually only have one bed, and also the entirety of the damn floor. She's not like, it's not like it's lava. She'll have places, but she's totally going to give us the
Plus she has the sofas in the living room and
both of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she makes use of both of them.
Mm-hmm. And she loves to lay in the kitchen. We have those foam mat things at the kitchen sink and then at our coffee station. And the one at the kitchen sink, she lays on like it is her bed. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Like...
Yeah.
But I still feel bad.
I know.
I still feel bad. I still feel bad. Yeah. Kids are good.
Mm-hmm.
Cats are good. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all have just witnessed us go through what we're going through in our relationship.
Yeah.
So it's that. It's that. It's, you know what, I think I am continuing to adjust to the idea that the oldest is about to be whatever college he picks and accepts him. Like that's still kind of blowing my mind a little bit. And I feel like a little bit, we started this last year, but a little bit we're starting to adjust what we do and how we do things with sort of the knowledge that that's right, he's not going to be here. So he's capable of washing dishes. He washes his own clothes. He can do stuff around the house. Absolutely. But we have kind of gone, let's just figure out how we're going to do it. Yeah. And now we share cooking duty. We share dishwashing duty. We're splitting those things. Mm-hmm. And those are pretty equitable. That's not a power exchange thing. That's we both hate this. So let's just find a way to minimize the hate for each of us.
It's got to be done, and we just split it up and do.
Yep.
So
yeah. But, that's us.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. Got a few projects coming up this weekend in the yard.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of our power exchange, but also just we're two people in a partnership together who love one another. So you have been doing a lot of yard work without help when you had told me point blank, I need help. And I was like, I'm here. And you never took me up on it. And so I got my feelings didn't get hurt. And I wasn't offended, but like just underneath that, like I almost was like, I was like, wait a minute. So I said, I'll help with the yard work. And then you were like, because when we bought this house, it has irrigation in the yard, both front and back, and it needs
attention,
maintenance,
it needs some
upkeep.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have to replace this entire section. It's not that big of a section, but this section of pipe, and we have to trench the yard, which I'm figuring I'll find out what that means when I see him do it. And you're like, you said you'd help me. Will you help me? And I went, will you feed me if I help you? Will you give me coffee?
I mean, the thing is, it's not anything I'm not capable of doing. I am more than capable of doing the work.
I don't want you to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
It bothers me that you do all of that by yourself. I don't like it, so I'm going to help.
Okay.
And then we have to put up ceiling fans this weekend.
Yes.
We have but like in the ceiling fan thing, my job is to hand you the screwdrivers and to hold the screws.
Right.
And then to get the blades ready for this.
And then take things when I hand them down to you.
But the outside stuff, there's going to be bugs out there. There's going to be dirt out there. There's going to be humidity out there. I mean, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not. This is not me backing out. And I understood what I was getting into when I went. I hate to see you doing this by yourself. You should not be doing this by yourself. I will help. But then I was like, fuck, I'll help. And everything that means.
I'll make sure you're fed and watered.
Thank you. So. Yep. And that is very much you were daddy dom in those moments, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, just, you might have to describe what the tool looks like. Don't just tell me a name. I know more than I think, like, the jokey cliche. Like, I was my dad's helper as a kid, and like, I know a Phillips and a flathead, and like, I know. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you're like, I need bloody, bloody, bloody 85 words pliers, and I'm like, oh shit. I know these pliers. Or you're like, blah, 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 85 words and about 3 numbers, wrench. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't, no. Put a different color dot on each one and tell me you need the pink one. And I can go get you the pink one. Like, you got to work with my strengths here. And am I walking into this knowingly? Did I consent to this, to offer this? Am I doing it with my whole heart? Yes. Also, will I whine the whole goddamn time? Yeah, probably.
Like a true baby girl.
I will probably whine. Yeah. And when I get dirt on me, shit. Yeah. I'm going to need a minute.
And Silent Wings had spoken like a true house cat. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's why I was... I'm
like, if a house cat cared, that's me.
That's why, when you offered, I was kind of...
You didn't take me up on it the first time. The first time I offered, you went, and then kept on going. And I had to be more firm and go, I fucking meant it.
I mean,
but I meant it.
In my head, I'm going, that means you have to step outside the house.
Consent is important to us here. And I did make sure you understood that I would definitely complain about it. That would not change. Take me up on the offer while I'm in air conditioning. Okay, just do it. Yeah. Just do it. The thing is I know exactly what I'm getting into. It's why I usually don't do it. But yeah.
But that's too why be prepared. I know you like to have some bedtime on the weekends.
I do. I like to wake up. So I don't wake up late, like 8 o'clock at the latest. But I like to wake up leisurely and slowly.
Yeah. And, here in Florida.
No, you got to do that work before the sun fucking comes up.
Doing yard work. I get out there as early as possible without, pissing off the neighbors, running power tools, before it gets too hot.
I really think like most of the neighbors were all doing that. And I don't know why. We all know it's hot as fuck. Just get your ass out there at 6:15 and move on. And we'll all be okay. We're all adults. If the people down the street can keep doing their fireworks till midnight the entire weekend of July 4th, Memorial Day, and Labor Day weekend, the rest of us who don't do the fireworks can get up and be out there with our whatevers at 6:30 in the morning.
True.
I don't want to be out there at 6:30 with principal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, excuse me.
Baby got a bubble?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's us. Not much to say because we already said it all.
And Kim, the idea of color stickers on tools makes me cringe, too.
Look, I could have suggested the glittery, puffy ones that are scratch and sniff. I did not. I was thinking of the very utilitarian little dots you get from the supply store, okay? I could have gone there, and I didn't, y'all. I want credit for that. I want credit for that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So neither of us has eaten lunch. We should probably go just so we can like get something in our stomach. And this is a long one, and I kind of thought it would be. Mm-hmm. But here we are. Thanks y'all for.
And while it may not have been educational, it gave you a deep peek into our lives at the moment.
I've had a few people recently when they've reached out, they've been like, listening to this episode sparked an idea for a conversation with me and my partner or whatever. And that's the kind of thing I want. You can't replicate what we do because our relationship is unique to us. Your relationship will be unique to you. But if we spark an idea, a conversation starter, hey, I saw this and wonder, can we do it this way? Like, that's mostly what I want to do for most people. So,
but, you know,
hopefully we can do that for you.
It just
also, that was cathartic.
It was.
It was nice.
It was
nice.
Absolutely. Yep.
You are prolonging this more than I
know I am.
Wow. That's right up there with a JB rant. Pretty rare. Pretty exciting when it happens. You don't want to go. You don't want to say goodbye to the people, do you?
No.
We've created this space with all this emotional energy. I get it.
Yeah.
Like we're swimming in it now. And thank y'all for being here with us in our emotional pool.
Yeah.
No, that's. Yeah. No. Y'all know.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah. At any rate, we'll be back Friday night.
Yes, where I will definitely talk about the Kink Bundle for a brief moment again. We will be goofballs. We each still have, I have a cider, you have your coffee beer thing.
Oh, no, I drank it all.
Did you?
The coffee beer is gone.
I thought I saw a bottle in the back.
I don't think so.
I think you should check. We might each have an adult beverage is all I'm saying. I think you should check.
I'll look. I thought I drank it, though.
Okay.
At any rate, we got to go.
We love y'all.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. And
thanks for being here to the bitter end.
On this roller coaster ride.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.